met Robert years before when he was modeling and acting. He was such a gorgeous, handsome man, like 6'6", just beautiful person inside and out. And I met him, and we later ended up in a band together, a group called Mama's Boys. And I had suggested him actually to the head of the group, Joe DeNova. I said, I know this guy, he'd be so fabulous. He can sing, he can dance, he's an artist, but he's amazing. And he ended up hiring him for the show. And then we went on tour for about 4 years in the big gay disco craze, and we played every gay disco in the country, I think. And Robert and all the boys became like my best friends. And eventually Robert moved back to LA, where I moved also. And we stayed close friends, saw each other every day. And when this opportunity for me to become Elvira came up, I got the job looking like my usual self. And they said, you have to come up with a look, spooky and sexy. And I went immediately to Robert because he was a wonderful artist. And we started talking about, how should I look? What should I do? We had one sketch that we talked about where we wanted to be like the Sharon Tate's character in Fearless Vampire Killers. And that was kind of a pink diaphanous gown with long red hair and kind of a dead girl, kind of pale makeup look. And the other way we wanted to go was the more typical black, spooky, black hair, black dress, but we didn't want it to look like a repeat of Vampira or Morticia Addams. We wanted it to be a little more 80s, a little more punk, and all that stuff was happening back then. And so he drew a couple sketches. I took them into KHJ, which was where my show was airing here in LA. And they immediately said, no, it has to be all black, everything has to be black. And we were like, oh, so boring. So we went with that character. Robert drew up another sketch, a little more developed for that. And then he found the fabric, sewed the dress, found the wig, cut my hair, did my makeup. Robert did all that on me. I mean, he could do anything. He was amazing. He would sit there with these little manicure scissors, cutting those little jags on the sleeves and on the train. Oh my God, he totally made it from scratch. I mean, the dress, I loved it, and we made it as tight and sexy as we could. We went shopping and we found the bra, which is key to the dress, in a Lily St. Cyr store that used to be down on Santa Monica in Boys Town. And it was like, let's build the dress around this amazing bra that shows so much cleavage. And I was like, they are never gonna let me wear that on TV. This is not gonna happen. But he said, well, just take it in and see. And we took it in, and their only comment was, can you make the slit on the leg higher? We were like, okay, whatever. I had been a showgirl, so I wasn't shy about wearing anything sexy, obviously. It was funny, people used to say, what do your parents think about you wearing that on TV? And I go, they are just glad I'm wearing anything. So anyway, the dress was obviously key to the character. And Robert went out shopping and found that belt, I think at a Macy's store. And he later came up with the brilliant idea of making the little leather pin. I think here in the collection we have the first belt that was just a leather pin. Later he said, let's make that a dagger. And we went out and had the dagger cast and made and put in there, which really took it up a step. That was the birth of Elvira, yeah. I went out there, I put that dress on. He did the hair. He wanted to do the hair in this knowledge bump by his favorite singer, Ronnie Spector of the Ronettes. And yeah, that's what he called it. He said, don't call it beehive, it's a knowledge bump. Okay, and anyway, he did the wig, and I walked out there in that dress and wig, and I remember really, I remember the crew kind of gasping and kind of, they had seen this little redhead go in, and then they saw this thing come out, and everybody was just in shock. The original shoes, the Elvira shoes for the costume, I went with Robert, and we went down to Hollywood Boulevard to the Fredericks of Hollywood store, and we bought these shoes for $35. And he liked that they had a little 50s vibe. They had the toe wasn't real pointed, it was slightly rounded, and it was real low towards, so you could see toe cleavage, which he was very into. And so he said, let's get these shoes, these are perfect. And I said, maybe I should get another pair in case they stop carrying these. And the people at the store said, oh no, this is a classic. We have had this since we began, like 1940, whatever the heck it was. These will never go away. So of course they go away. And my poor shoes, I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed to have them on sale here. I wore those things into the ground, man. They are embarrassing because I couldn't ever find another shoe that was exactly that, and I wanted to keep it the same. I ended up having to go have them made by an Italian, shoemaker who copied them after that. But that first pair, and then they would be about $1,200, $2,000 a pair of shoes. First pair were $35, so much better. But those shoes are here in the auction.